Hi, Coach John here, and welcome back to the final part of my three-part video series on the three most important strategies that will double your referrals, triple your sales, quadruple your exposure, and 10x your success. I talk all about that in the first video. And in video number 1, I also reveal the most important factor that decides whether people are going to want to do business with you or not. And that's your level of energy and enthusiasm. In video number 2, I showed you how keeping your pipeline full of prospects is the secret to having confidence and never having to worry about cancellations ever again. And I also gave you my favorite 7-step golden method to filling your pipeline with quality leads. Hopefully by now you've recognized the tremendous value I've shared with you in these videos and you've begun to take action. And if you have, I guarantee that you'll begin to see the fruit very, very soon. Now, although the first 2 videos are packed full of nuggets that will get you big results, I've saved the best for last. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to get your clients, prospects, and cold leads to all but close themselves. In fact, if you follow the steps I'm about to give you, the hardest question you'll have to ask is, how would you like to pay for that today, Mrs. Prospect? Are you ready? Let's do this. So just recently, I walked into a gym with the interest of getting into better shape. Now, I don't want to incriminate this business, but let's just say it's a large chain gym that is named after a big city in Southern California. Now, I'm just like you and every other consumer. I'm most interested in getting what I want, the outcome. I'm not all that interested always in the means of getting there. Catch my drift? I want to get in better shape so I can feel and look better. So the first place I went was the nice big gym that's close to my home. And after I park my car, I walk into the building and I'm greeted with a thoroughly unenthusiastic hello by the young girl working at the front desk. And I inform her that I'm interested in joining a gym and I wanted to check it out. So she grabs a clipboard, she tells me to fill it out, and she calls over to one of the guys in the sales area, who in turn replies back, "What's up?" Already at this point, you can guess I'm ready to shake these people awake. But I needed to see this process through because I knew there was a big lesson to learn that would help you make more sales. So back to the gym. I complete the form. I give it to the young gal and I wait nearly 10 minutes for the sales guy to come meet me. And I watch him move without any urgency as he cleans off his desk, finishes his protein drink, checks on his phone, puts his name badge on, tucks in his shirt, grabs some gum, all this stuff. I'm waiting. Can you imagine this? Kind of crazy, huh? I started to look around for cameras to see if I was being punked because I thought this was the silliest sales situation I'd ever been in. But this young sales guy finally comes up to meet me and shakes my hand, even without cracking a smile. It's not like, "How you doing, sir?" It's like, "Good to see you, meet you." Nothing. He walks me to his desk, and although I don't want to sit down, I do because he tells me to. And I think common sense would tell you that I'm in the gym because I sit around way too much as it is. I'm ready to move and work, not sit. So the sales guy asked me what my goals were. And I gave him a super vague answer of, I want to get in better shape. Because he hasn't yet established any kind of rapport or relationship with me. He answers, "Okay, cool." And then he breaks out his pricing sheet and begins to tell me about the prices. And at this point, I honestly couldn't hold it in anymore, and I decided I had to help him out. And so I threw him a little bone. So I tell this kid, "Look, I just walked in and I haven't even seen the place. Why don't you show me what I'm about to buy?" And his answer is like, "Okay, sure. Let me give you a tour." And so the tour begins, without ever asking me what I was interested in. And so the first thing he takes me to, the first place he takes me to, is the childcare room. All right, so anyone with a couple of brain cells can look at me and realize that I likely have grandchildren. I have one on the way. And I have no interest in knowing about current childcare options. So from here, the next place we go, the indoor basketball court. Okay, great. I played basketball 25 years ago. I don't play anymore. I hurt myself. Again, I'm not putting down the sport, but my frame says more about golf than it does basketball. And then the final place he takes me to, before I can put an end to this misery, was a swimming pool full of senior citizens floating around. Not exactly my ideal vision for myself. Needless to say, I walked out and never returned. Was this story painful to imagine? I know it was painful for me to experience, But the most painful part is the realization that 9 out of 10 businesses actually conduct their sales process in this manner. This is a totally untrained sales team. And I was sad and I was embarrassed for this fitness business. Can you imagine? Just imagine how much money and happy customers were being sent away. Can you imagine how much money and happy customers are slipping through the gaping cracks in your business? Well, it's time to fix the cracks. And here is a secret that can change everything for you. You know, people love to buy, and all you have to do is show them what they already want. Sometimes that just seems really too simple, but yeah, that's it. That's all there is. You see, people love spending money, even those that claim they don't have it or claim that they're on a budget. We all love to spend and buy. In fact, we love spending so much that when we have extra money, we usually end up spending it on others, don't we? We pick up the check at dinner. We buy our kids and our family members gifts, and we're more generous with giving it away. People love to buy and spend. That means that your only job is to figure out exactly what your prospect wants and then offer it to them. If the employees at the gym were properly trained and they truly cared, because you have to do both, talked about that in video 1, then they would have focused 100% on what I wanted and what kind of workouts interested me the most. They would have asked surface level questions and kept going deeper as our connection grew until they got all the information they needed to show me exactly what I wanted to buy. And when it came to the tour, they would have only showed me exactly the areas that I asked for when they introduced me. And then they would have showed me a couple members my age introduce me. People were in great shape. Can you see how different the experience would have been? All right, so enough about what should have happened. Today I want to give you a real actionable plan to start using with your next sales opportunity. And one of my favorite strategies when it comes to the sales process is called the assistant buyer method. And here's how it works. Step number 1 is you have to assume the role that you now work for your customer or client as their assistant in charge of making the buying decision. You're no longer the CEO or salesperson of your own business trying to create revenue. You're the assistant buyer for the customer. And your job is to create the best outcome for your client. So, if you're the assistant buyer, what kinds of things would you do differently? What information would you need to get? What questions would you want to ask? And if you begin to shift your thinking to being the assistant buyer, your mindset and actions will also begin to change, which will make your client feel like they know, like, and trust you more, making the sale a near certainty. Step number 2 is ask the right questions and ask them often. Now, during the sales process, there's such a thing as a bad question. For example, asking a prospect a question where they don't know the answer, that's a bad question because it makes the customer look bad. That's a bad idea. But asking them to share how they feel about something is terrific because everyone will have an answer. Now, on average, you'll have to ask at least 20 good questions before you can finish the sale. So be prepared to hang in there and keep uncovering your prospect's needs and wants. It's your job to know, in a very detailed and intimate manner, exactly what outcome that they want. Remember, people buy outcomes. So stay focused on getting deep. What is it that they really want? When you begin to see emotions like happiness or even tears, you're close to being where you need to be. At the end of this process, at the end of steps 1 and 2, you should have a full list in front of you. And step number 3 is to repeat your prospect's list of needs and wants out loud to them, and then ask them if you're missing anything. And when you do this, it becomes assumed to them that you'll be able to get them exactly what they want because you've clearly defined it. You've repeated it back to them. And when you've done that, the close will take care of itself. When you're at this step, make sure that you don't include your own opinion. This is all about the customer, all about the prospect. Sometimes your prospect, they may have what sounds like pretty silly needs and wants, but that's not important. What matters most is what's important to them. So don't leave out anything that they said was important. Remember now, you're the assistant buyer. You're going to check these things off. Make sure they're all included. And then finally, step 4 is showing them exactly what they just told you that they want. If you're selling a product or a service, present their package in a way that highlights and focuses what's most important to them. Remember the gym story? Don't show them the basketball court if they're not interested in basketball. Can you see how spending enough time and being enthusiastic and truly interested in your prospects to learn about what they want allows you to much more easily make the sale? Now, am I saying you won't experience any issues or objections? Yeah, absolutely not. But what I am promising you is that if you do these steps correctly, you'll have 80% of the close done, and any objections that you do get, they'll be much simpler to handle because they won't be willing to walk away without buying, because people love to buy. Now, sometimes a conversation with a trusted advisor can be just what you need to overcome the sales process. Sales is one of those areas where you often don't receive feedback when it goes sideways. But feedback is the key to growth and improvement. If you'd like to talk to someone about your sales process and how to close more opportunities much faster, then reach out and book a complimentary conversation. You choose the topic or topics, and sales or your sales process is a great choice. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain. What's the worst that could happen? Click on the link either above or below this video and book your conversation now. And after you've got your call scheduled, jump right back here and share a comment. You can help someone else on this page realize that they're not alone. Or you could just let me know that you were here. As a chess player, I know that when you make the right moves, you win the game. When you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. Make the right moves and close more opportunities. Book a call now. Cheers to your success.